Spider-Man, released back in 2002, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Tobey Maguire as the lead character. And this film is probably one of the best films in the 2000s. This puts Spider-Man on the map, as well as the Spider-Man film franchise. It's also led to multiple Marvel comic book movies after it and a few sequels to Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 and 3, the biggest Spider-Man movies, and the ones in the MCU. This movie starts off with Tobey Maguire playing Peter Parker. He is a regular teenage high school kid. He lives with his aunt and uncle, Uncle Ben and Aunt May. He has a best friend named Harry Osborn, and the love interest in this movie is Mary Jane Watson. And what I like about this movie, in the opening, they portray Peter Parker as just a regular kid deals with regular problems, such as bullies and running late for the bus. He's kind of believable. It's what a high schooler kid probably would do in the big city of New York. Miss the bus, get bullied by some people. He's kind of relatable in some ways. But however, he gains some upward momentum. His life gets turned upside down due to a spider bite. And the spider that bit him is radioactive. This gives him some super abilities that he's never experienced before, like quick reflexes, wall climbing, and web slinging. And he uses these powers to impress Mary Jane Watson. He goes into a fighting club. He gets involved to a steel cage fight with Bonesaw McGraw, who is portrayed by Macho Man Randy Savage. A nice cameo by him. Spider-Man takes down Bonesaw McGraw within 2 minutes. But with everything going right, things go wrong. His uncle, who drove him to the cage fight, gets shot and killed. And Peter Parker cries and he feels guilty because he lied to Uncle Ben. He originally told Uncle Ben that he was going to the library, which he wasn't. And the killer who shot and killed Uncle Ben just walked right past Peter Parker. He was going to collect his money. The owner of the promotion gave him $100. It's supposed to be $3,000, but those New York wrestling promoters, they're very greedy. Yeah. So he gives him the $100. Peter Parker obviously doesn't like that. And so a guy comes in, robs him, takes the money, and Peter Parker says, "I missed a part where that's my problem," which is what the owner said to him after giving him the $100. But that guy killed Uncle Ben. And he dons the mask and costume of Spider-Man to avenge his uncle's death and help others in need. He stops the jewelry thieves, bank robbers, bullies, potential murders, and stuff like that. So he becomes Spider-Man. Newspaper prints are happy about him. Public opinion is mixed. We have J.K. Simmons played J. Jonah Jameson. He doesn't like Spider-Man, calling him a menace. So once again, after becoming Spider-Man, things are beginning to go right again, but his greatest challenge will emerge. A great superhero needs a great villain. This is Norman Osborn, who runs Oscorp. He is developing some type of project for the military. He's running late. They pull the funding, and Oscorp pulls out of the project, and they're going to sell the company. So he goes in and does the science experiment on himself. There's a major setback. The experiment wasn't ready. He needs to go back to formula, but he didn't. He just ignored that. He did experiment on himself and becomes the Green Goblin due to some type of toxic gas. And like what the Green Goblin did here, he's a great challenge for Spider-Man, mentally, physically, and emotionally. There's a scene where he kidnaps Mary Jane, he attacks Aunt May, He bombs a parade, which causes the board of directors of Oscorp to get killed. He even has a confrontation with Spider-Man on a roof, telling them that everyone loves a hero, but what they love more is to see him fall, fail, die trying. Despite what you've done, people will begin to hate you. You want Spider-Man to choose a path, like what Willem Dafoe did with the Green Goblin here. So the MVP of this film is Willem Dafoe, who played Green Goblin. He gave Spider-Man a great challenge in this movie. He played Harry Osborn. He played Norman Osborn very well as the Green Goblin. And Cliff Robertson, who played Uncle Ben, he is also an MVP because he gives Spider-Man the strength and the wisdom and the motivation. Without Cliff Robertson as Uncle Ben, this movie might not have been that successful. He's so far the best Uncle Ben. There's a line in the movie that he said, it's called the great power comes great responsibility. And in this movie, Peter Parker's responsibility is tested with the Green Goblin. This has been your Spider-Man review. Give it a 10 out of 10. Thought the characters are great. Tobey Maguire did a good job. I like the Green Goblin, what he did in this movie. Kirsten Dunst played Mary Jane. She was alright. James Franco played Harry Osborn. He was alright. So this was a pretty great movie to watch. And we'll get right to reviewing the second movie.